All right, so we've got some cool stuff here, and you see we got a derail fan here, you got some hose, the box that comes in, and you got a gigantic 10R140 transmission that's out of the Super Duty with the Godzilla motor. Pretty much, you got a major four-wheel drive, heavy-duty, diesel, 7.3 Godzilla. That's the tranny you got right there, right? So this is a two-wheel drive version, and it's actually, you can purchase that as a Godzilla kit with the Godzilla motor. You can get the control pack, the transmission, and everything coming together, and you can put it in your truck, right? That's part of the process, right? But you also have the work of connecting everything up, and what are you gonna do? So this has a transmission cooler that's pretty gigantic and obviously not gonna work with your hot rod that you're putting this into. So we actually have designed a very cool little part right here that goes and connects into the transmission cooler port. And I'll kind of show you what this looks like. So right here is where the transmission fluid wants to go through a cooler and be cycled through and cooled down. And so we've got this part that will go right perfectly in here. We've got new O-rings that come in the kit that actually fit around here. You'll push that in there. I don't want to push it too tight. And then you'll have a bolt that's going to go in there. And then right here, if you can see that, you've got a little 1/8" NPT sensor right here that will go in and connect in there. And this sensor is set off to turn the fans off at 200 degrees. Now, why 200 degrees? Well, that's because this needs to get up to some operating temperature, and we don't want it to be too cold because then the clutches won't work very well. And so we want to make sure that inside it, that all the components are happy and they're running right around 200 degrees. But we also don't want it to get very hot either, and so that's why you have a transmission cooler. So you might be pulling something, maybe not, but it's a good idea to have a transmission cooler on here just to monitor temperature. So this will trigger this fan right here. It'll trigger that to ground out and actually turn that fan on and cool your cooler down. So in the kit, you're going to get this little adapter. It is different than the actual Coyote one that we sell. So we actually have a G on here, 10R140, that lets us know that that goes to that transmission. You're gonna get your temp sender here. You're gonna get the O-rings and all the little components to bolt that on. And then you're gonna get 12 feet of hose, nice AN hose, and you're gonna get some AN fittings, and these are -8. And so we wanna be sure that we're allowing enough transmission fluid to go through here and cool down. I've seen some that are like -6 and they're not AN fittings, and we usually try to stay away from those because we want to make sure we're pushing as much fluid as makes sense. And so we use the -8 fittings here, and then you're going to have the -8 fittings here, and you got these 4 connections, and then you're going to mount this wherever you feel like you need to mount it, underneath your truck somewhere. This could be underneath the bed, underneath the cab, it could really be anywhere. And the reason why is because you got this really good fan right here by Derail that's going to actually keep it nice and cool. And so you can see you've got a pretty nice little cooling system back there, and with constant air pressure, it's going to cool it down. Now, having some hose in here and using all of this is actually helpful. Keeping some distance rather than super close, it's going to have more time to actually cool and do its part, and then come back and help keep the transmission fluid cool. So, pretty simple kit. There's not a lot to it. It's definitely useful. It's definitely a need. If you're doing any kind of a Godzilla swap and you're using a 10R140, this is a product you're going to need. It's available here at Fat Fender Garage. Obviously, you can go to our website, fatfender.com. You can just go there, click, find it, purchase it. We'll get it shipped out to you within the next day. So something we keep in stock and it's ready to ship. Sometimes we struggle getting some of the Derail fans in because just back orders and whatnot. We always keep this in stock. We usually have 25 of these sitting on the shelf at all time. And for the most part, it's something that can ship out within the next, within a couple days of you placing your order. So make sure you're subscribing to our channel. We have a lot of tips and tricks. We've got a lot of Godzilla stuff that's coming out. So we've got stuff here that we're gonna be doing videos on and releasing those over the next 2 or 3 weeks. But we got a lot of cool Godzilla parts that we've been working on for the past year, just to make sure that we understood all the little details about the Godzilla swap, so that we were making products that were good, accurate, and useful for you as you do your Godzilla swap in your shop, your garage, or wherever you're having your project built. So with that, stay tuned, and we will see you next time. Thanks.